What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be going over everything that you need to know for Season 1, Season of the Malignant. So it's going to be starting first off at 7/20/2023, so basically 2 weeks from me making this video. There's a relatively longer stream that does show off all of this. There was about an hour-ish long video, but I wanted to condense everything into like one quick video to give you guys all the things that you really need to know to get ahead of the game. So starting right off, there is the date for when it starts. There is going to be some continuation of some sort of a campaign or story. However, it's not tied to the main quest line, but there is some sort of other story that kind of is standalone. So what is the new content here? So what it comes down to are there's going to be newer monsters. They're called malignant monsters over here. So we can see one of them over on the right. And basically they are only going to be happening to spawn on an elite. So basically they're like these little like orbs, or they're like infected, whatever the case is. You know, with these monsters, it makes them kind of more difficult. So after you defeat these monsters, these only, by the way, spawn on elite. It's random if it spawns on the elite. So it's another, like, just think of it kind of like a mod that spawns an elite. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to kill this monster. Now, once you kill the monster, you're going to have to capture its heart. So you use some sort of item to capture it. They didn't go in depth on, like, is this just a little thing that you can capture where these little, like, capture, like, you know, claw things, are they going to be free, or are these going to be another drop? They didn't go in depth on this, but anyways, nonetheless, you can see it just says capture. There's no like explanation more in depth on like if you play Path of Exile, think of it kind of like maybe capturing a beast. I don't know if it's automatic and it just is free, or again, if you have to get some sort of like trap claw to consume and it uses them. Next up, after you capture them, what's interesting is it's going to spawn in more monsters. So some of these monsters will have more difficult modifiers, but if you can kill them, what happens is it will drop the heart. Now, if you happen to get the heart, what does the heart do? It's actually its own item that you can socket in, so you can see what one of these hearts does. So over here, we have a item that says the Cage Heart of the Picanha. So it is a level 2. Now, can we upgrade these? I'm not sure, but I'm guessing some of these numerical stats, specifically over here listed in blue and in this like orange text right here, these can be upgraded. So what are these? These are items that we can socket into our jewelry. Now, can we socket these into weapons? I'm not 100% positive. So what they showed off at least didn't look like it. So I was thinking originally, oh wow, Barbarian would be getting a huge buff because they can have more sockets, right? So what does it do? So it says it can be inserted into vicious malignant sockets found in jewelry. Now, are there going to be special ones that maybe spawn in on armor or weapons? I don't know. But anyways, it says once inserted, hearts can be replaced but not removed. It also is an account bound, so there's not going to be any trading of these items, because I was wondering that myself as well. So what does it do? It says critical strikes electrically charge the enemy for 2.89 seconds, causing lightning to arc between them and any other charged enemies, dealing some sort of numerical stat. In this case, it's 64 lightning damage. So basically, some sort of little like chain lightning that bounces between. There's something called like arc something in Diablo 3. I'm guessing it works kind of the same. You just activate it by hitting them, and then it'll just kind of bounce in between. Now, will this work with a group of party? Does it have good synergy? I don't know. But these are all questions that I was wondering. And they actually said there's going to be ridiculously broken ones. Okay, this is going to make the game ridiculously broken. That is literally word for word what they said, ridiculously broken. So I'm really excited to see what are some of these more insane ones. I wish they showed off a lot more of these, because like I wanted to start theory crafting what would be good, but maybe these powers will be so powerful that, like, you know, the damage of like 64 at this point right here, the character is level 20, and will these numbers scale with your damage? I don't know, or if it's just like a flat number. But nonetheless, if you're able to get a bunch of these, this could be very fun, especially for builds that can get 100% crit, because it doesn't happen to have like a lucky hit proc chance. It's just all critical. It says critical strikes electrically charge enemies. So if you're playing a Whirlwind Barb, you know it's pretty easy to get 100% crit as long as you happen to have that aspect on a two-handed weapon for the Whirlwind channel. So you could probably get you know, some really cool ideas here. I wish they moused over the rest of them, but yeah, I tried. They didn't pause and like mouse over the other ones. So there's another thing that you have to factor in. So this one over here, it looks like they socketed it in, and they have colors. So you'll see that there's looks like this one is silver, and I think these ones are orange. And there's also like a purple or a blue one. I don't know if they're having multiple colors, but the colors do matter. So if you played Path of Exile, the sockets have to respect the color that it is going in. So what that means is you have to have the item either drop with it, or you're going to have to actually craft a socket, and it randomizes the colorization. Now, can you convert the color? As far as I'm aware of, they did not specify if you can change the color of something. It might just have to simply drop with that specific color to socket in. Next thing I was also wondering, and they kind of showed the soft text over here where it says replace heart. Heart can be placed into a piece of gear with the heart already socketed. This will destroy the original heart, which means if you get a socket that you put it in, like you can see they put it in this ring right here, and then it just has that, effect, right? Now, if you get another one, you can put on top of it, but it will delete the other one. So if you're wondering if you can remove it, I don't know if you can remove it, because I'm guessing if it's destroying it, can you just remove it via the jeweler? That might not be an option. They also showed off a little bit more in the battle pass. There was things that were considered top secret. If you guys remember, a lot of people were speculating this is the next class. No, it just says, it's funny that they put top secret, but they said season journey chapter 1. It tells you how far you've progressed. That was what was top secret. They kind of, had a secret for us, but anyways, nonetheless, that's the battle pass here. Some of these, maybe newer screenshots, but this is actually pretty important. So it's basically just like Diablo 3. Now, if you haven't played Diablo 3, to explain it, the chapter seasons, once you start completing them, you'll see that there's some sort of cash reward, and on top of that, there's a new form of currency that can give you bonus XP and other things. And now we have like more pictures to show off, because it was all during their live stream. So the important things is over here on the right side where it says like completing these things. Collect Gallovine, found anywhere. You can complete a dungeon that's on your like. These are very, very basic things. And by the way, you don't have to do all of them to progress into chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. They do not show off the rewards for the final ones. I wanted to see that, but they only showed off this. But it looks like it also gives you aspects, so that's actually quite nice, especially since we can make a new character. And we'll talk a little bit about when you create a new character, what happens to your old character, the eternal and like the seasonal. So starting right off, they showed off a little bit more in the battle pass. Another thing that people want to know, like in the screenshot, they show it says supported classes barbarian, but you can click on any one of these and it works with all the classes. So all of the things on the battle pass that you unlock, they're going to be for all the characters, with exception of like, let's say an axe. Obviously if you're playing sorcerers, you can't use an axe, but as far as the cosmetics go, they apply to all the characters, which is cool. They show off the highest tier, because I was wondering, like, what's the tier 100? No, they didn't reveal that one. So they revealed 89 and 90. So this is pretty far into the battle pass, so expect these to be kind of like these sought-after items in the premium battle pass. Even if you don't buy the battle pass, you still have a free track reward. They show off like a couple of pictures over here for like the free. You get just a t-shirt over here on number 2, and then you can see there's a free cosmetic sword, and then there's this thing over here that says free, but it also says 40. Now that requires you to be level 40 in order to actually obtain it. So these are called Season Blessings Smoldering Ashes. This is the important key thing here for the season. So what do these actually do? So the Smoldering Ashes will actually give you some actual permanent bonuses on your character. So starting from the left side over here, we have the Urn of Aggression. So that's going to grant you boost of XP from monsters that you kill. Now you can see how much XP it gives, and they mentioned that it goes up in the same incremental number. So you see level 1 is 3%, so level 2 would be 6 in total, and numerically, if this all goes according to what they were saying, this should be a total of 12% bonus XP. Now these are locked behind a level, so you can't just pay to win in a sense, just get all the Smoldering Ashes and be like, bam, I'm gonna start out with 12% bonus XP. You have to be a certain level in order to get your Smoldering Ashes. Next up, we have the Urn of Bargaining, and this boosts the amount of gold earned from vendor sales. Now the next one is the Urn of Reclamation, which boosts the chance to receive rare materials from salvage. Then we have the Urn of Prolonging, which boosts the duration of all of your elixirs, which would give you up to 60%, which could be kind of nice, so you don't have to pop a bunch of them. And the Urn of Malignance, so this is for the season, they boost the chance of powerful malignant heart drops. So think of that kind of like Magic Find, right? That would be probably the best one. Hearts drop after completing the campaign. So this is kind of cool. I mean, it's a 20% chance, again, at max level. So I had a couple people chime in, and I was thinking, like, guys, what would you guys get? Because, like, if it's locked, if you're unlocking these and they're locked behind gaining levels, then I would assume the best thing would be to get all of the Urn of Aggressions earlier on, because if you can. Now, they haven't confirmed this. Can you just have everything maxed out? Like, when you finish the entire battle pass, are you going to be maxing out everything? I'm assuming yes. If the answer is no, then obviously at some point you'll be level 100 and the rest would be kind of completely worthless. However, I still feel like it's important to progress as fast as possible, so I would suggest in order of getting certain things, the 20% chance, keep in mind that would be earlier on versus later on. Getting higher level powerful hearts would be more of a benefit, while XP may be your better option, so you can level up faster, so you can get to the end game, so you get those good hearts versus like increasing your heart drop chance of like, you know, bad hearts. Like, you're not going to really use them, right? So here's at least what I plan to do, because we were kind of talking about this, like what's the most optimal way. Via my personal own opinion, I'm going to max out all the XP, and then I'm going to go straight into the urn, because I want to see what can kind of drop, and I think that's kind of exciting. Elixirs isn't bad, but I really don't care too much about the other ones. I mean, getting 20% extra gold, while that can help for rerolls, and if you're using Discord or third-party websites to buy items, it could help out. But I think getting the hearts was going to be more exciting, and obviously the bonus XP, because you want to try to progress as fast as possible. I think this is going to be really cool. Remember, this is just XP from monster kills versus the Nightmare Dungeon bonuses, but I still think it's really good overall, and especially with them talking about density. All right, so now we're going to talk about what happens with your old characters. So real quick, your old characters are called eternal characters. Seasonal characters are considered seasonal characters. Now, there is still a reason to play your eternal character, because they're going to add new legendaries and new uniques, and you can attain all of that in the eternal realm. However, any new seasonal mechanic, like, of course, like this whole thing where like there's this new, like, you know, quest line over here, these new mechanics, you won't be able to participate in any of those with your eternal characters. You cannot transfer items, but basically think of it like a separate brand new account. They cannot interact with each other. The only thing that will actually go and progress is your renown. So they said areas discovered as well as the altars will be the two things that you want to focus in on. So if you really want to min-max right now, cover all of the Fog of War, which would be areas discovered. That's like the map where you didn't discover it. So discover everything if you want to try to get ahead of the start. Get all of the areas discovered, get all of your Lilith altars. You'll start off with 5 skill points and up to like 9 potions in total for your capacity. So it'll be a nice start, but you still have to do the stronghold. You still got to do all the dungeons and stuff. It's just part of it, but at least you don't have to get the altars. So that's kind of what transfers over. Now, on top of that, they mentioned that there's also going to be these newer tunnel areas. So I'm not sure if these are going to be basically completely new maps, or if this is just going to be like a different like skin variation where you have these other things to actually fight. So there are newer enemies. They mentioned there are new bosses, but they said they don't want to spoil it. Does this mean there's going to be a new capstone boss? I hope so. They didn't even talk about World Tier 5, which I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't mention there's going to be another World Tier. As far as the gameplay showed off, I mean, what you're seeing right here is, well, this is World Tier 2. They didn't show off like it was World Tier 6, 7, 8. They didn't even talk about the gems or any stash tabs, which is very interesting. I'm guessing they're working on it. They actually, like, they were like, guys, we hear you about stash tabs, which is still a good thing at the end of the day. But on top of that, you can see over here, there are these new tunnels, and inside of these tunnels, you're going to be able to invoke the Malignant. So there are these tunnels that you can go to that are brand new areas. How do they spawn in? Where do they spawn? I got no idea. They didn't reveal that. They just showed off like a really small amount of gameplay. So you can see that when you go to these events, this is going to be something where you get to decide. You can see what looks like to be a silver one and a blue or purple. So this will let you kind of target farm the correct color of the item. Remember how I was talking about like the socket colors earlier, where this matters. This would actually help you out with doing that. So once you go over there, you pick your color, and then you basically get to kill that thing, and then it's going to drop the heart of the corresponding color. In this case, it's going to be a purple or blue. And you can see also what level the monster is with the player. So you can see the player is level 9. So you're going to be able to interact with the mechanic pretty early on. If you played some of the previous Diablo seasons, you can't really do some of the mechanics until the end game. So it's cool that it's going to work through like the start. Well, maybe I'm guessing maybe you can't do it level 1, but at least at level 9, which you'll get to in just a short amount of time, you'll be able to obtain that, which I think is really, really cool indeed. But nonetheless, there is also the mention of like a lot of the things that people wanted addressed, specifically like the stash tabs and the ability to search. They're like, basically, we hear you guys on all this like small stuff for feedback. We're working on it. Sometimes it's not that easy. We don't want items to disappear, obviously, in your stash. Like, that would be a horrible thing to happen in terms of, like, getting everything coded correctly, because it might not be so simple as adding, like, there's some code that has, like, 4 stash tabs. You just change it to 5. They can't just do that. And sometimes when you do other things, that breaks other forms of the game, and sometimes it's just the way the game is designed. So, nonetheless, at least they're hearing us, and I think at the end of the day, that is the greatest news with this. But that's basically everything that you need to know. If there's any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And some other people wanted to know, will the season mechanic go core? If you play Path of Exile, that's basically the exact terminology. That means after the season ends, are these like malignant like monsters going to be coming to the regular game? The answer is, well, we haven't really decided on everything at the moment, but if we keep on adding things from every single season, it might be overwhelming, and I totally get that. So maybe from feedback, if people like the season, they'll keep it, or maybe if people don't like it, then they won't add it to what would be considered the core. But that's basically the new season mechanic, as well as everything that you need to know. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new, subscribe to the bell if you'd like to see more Diablo content.